Welcome back to my channel, Star Booze.
What are your thoughts if we told you that? Lionel Richie, the legend of music industry, had lied to us all along. At the age of 74, he has come clean. He stunned the audience by confessing the fact was that she was the love of his life. How does this affect all women, things he claimed to adore previously? What does this signify for his current situation? Relationship. Watch the video until end to find out, before we go to Let's start with the surprising portion, a little bit about our guy. Lionel Richie was Legend's singing career began with the funk soul band, the Commodores at Tuskegee University. In the late 1970s, they become one of the most popular bands on the planet, and Richie is the talented. The artist and the attractive boy were marketed as their precious boy. Meanwhile, the world, somebody swooned over his lyrics. Busy falling in love. So let's just say that was the point where everything changed. Don't worry, we're not going. She was the gatekeeper until this is the end. So here you go. Her name was Brenda Harvey. She happened to be his college sweetheart. And surprisingly, Richie settled down with this woman. She became his first wife. Everybody took one. Take a peek at the couple and call them perfect match. And there is the problem. They only looked at them once. I started adoring them without knowing what was happening and how nasty it was going to become. When and how, that is, for the future. But for now, the college love evolved into public love. Story. In 1983, they did something even more surprising. They have adopted Anna Nicole is the name of a small girl. The hardcore fans could have recognized her. Yes, it's Nicole. Just to let you all know, her adoption wasn't simply an act of kindness. This was the beginning of a convoluted and terrible story, one that would be challenged and criticized in the most unusual manner. So, what exactly happened? Just when did things start? Getting ruined? Everything started in the late 1980s. Fissures began to appear. In the Richie house, Lionel was out there, climbing the fame ladder and racking up Grammys and traveling the globe. And suddenly, a young lady appeared, Diane Alexander. She was only a dancer who appeared in the Dancing on Ceiling music video, and they met through mutual circles. Their chemistry is certainly true, without waste. After a minute, they both began to. Behind the scenes, the atmosphere is lovely, and before you could tell they were involved in something, a full-on hardcore affair. Then it happened. Brenda learned about the affair. What occurred next may have been documented, and everyone would call. It was a huge hit. Brenda was not like any other woman. She did not confront Lionel about the affair or breakup. No, she waited until she was sure. She discovered one night that Lionel was with his sweetheart in Beverly Hills. Brenda tracked Lionel down at Diane's flat. According to accounts, she was caught. They were caught red-handed in the act. She was not only was she sad, but she was also furious. She allegedly drop-kicked Lionel was in the stomach, wheezing in agony. But before she could commit murder with your bare hands, police thought Brenda was the one who received the arrested. The charges included spousal abuse and disrupting the calm, but to be honestly, no disrespect. But this was far too funny. Like us, Hollywood. 8. This narrative is made up. Not because it was humorous. However, the perfect family image was exposed as a fake, and the reputation was shattered. But here's a twist. Despite the pandemonium, Lionel and Diane managed. It works. Isn't this crazy? Well, you will not. I find it crazy if you know what. What happened next? It took her a moment. When Brenda came to her senses, recognized that she was living with a cheater, she dumped Lionel and divorced him. and like a nice guy, Lionel married. Diane Alexander was his mistress in 1995. Not cool, man. There wasn't time. Tor graded because by that time they had already had a son named Miles and a daughter. They named her Sophia. For several years, everything appeared serene. Diane was glamorous. Lionel felt confident and supported. Career. However, by 2004, it was over with the divorce settlement is for $20 million. Lionel, he had bungled the sack once again, and the pair attributed their parting to. There are irreconcilable differences, but behind that excuse included some truth. A truth Lionel would not reveal until much later in life. At 74, he finally opened up, and his confession, it wasn't just about Diane. It was about all women. He had always adored the women he had lost. Who was she? Was it Diane, Brenda, or wait for someone else? Stay tuned to discover out. You want to know what does this individual have to say for himself? Like, why did he cheat on Brenda and mess? What's wrong with Diane? He mentioned fame, touring, and his ego is damaged. Everything. It's a complex method of, I'm claiming I wrecked myself. But who are we to pass judgment? Do you believe he altered his methods and became a different person afterwards? The response is shocking. But this was not his entire love tale since. There's still some romance in his life. He met someone who transformed his life. You may be wondering, since he is old now, how can he fall in love? We will defend him on this because love, there is no age limit, and anyone can fall in love regardless of their age. So he fell in love with a woman that's 40 years younger than him. I find it unusual that he's dating. We want to say something to someone so young. Yes, you are correct. Lionel is on his own this one. In his defense, Lionel Richie claims he has finally found real love. Her name is Lisa Parigi. She is a model, entrepreneur, and technologically smart businesswoman. She is fluent in 4 languages and operates 2 luxury businesses. More importantly, according to Lionel, she is his piece. So, who is Lisa Parigi? How did she move from fan to lifelong partner? Even more importantly, what does Nicole Richie, Lionel's daughter, think about her father's latest relationship? Hang on tight, because there is a lot to unpack here. The thing is that when you've been through 20 years of marriage, a public affair, divorced, in public, and had 3 children. Children in the spotlight, falling in love. It gets harder. He did it anyhow. Some individuals began to call him a pedophile discovered the loophole, and some trolls even dubbed him Diddy if he was legal. Moves on. Lisa was born, raised in Switzerland. She is one of Swiss, Caribbean, and Chinese heritage. This suggests she's multicultural, multilingual, and advances through high-level society with peaceful assurance. But she's also very private. She never had any messy interviews, no reality TV moments, and certainly no scandals. In reality, she first met Lionel Richie. She didn't know who he was. That's right. According to several interviews, Lisa had no notion she was chatting to someone. Music legend. And perhaps that was the secret that warmed Lionel's heart. We know it's real since Lionel once stated, she just treated me like a regular guy. That was refreshing. So, let's find out the truth behind Richie being called a pedophile. And more accurately, why. Richie isn't a minor hunter. The reasoning behind it is simple. Even though Richie is 40 years older than Lisa, he met her. In 2014, she was 24 years old. Private dinner gathering. Fortunately, the girl was barely past the age where Leonardo DiCaprio would approach her, but she received the next best thing, So, according to some legislation, Richie was in reality innocence, and everything after age 18 is fair game. This is it for Richie. It is not as if critics have nicer to Lisa, too. They have plenty of assumptions, such as if she is with him for what about the money? Is Richie going through late life crisis? Is Lisa a gold digger? I mean, forget the gold at this point. She's simply mining for some vintage. Anyway, there is something behind the memes. Surprisingly grounded. They've been. We've been together for almost a decade, and longer than most Hollywood marriages. To clarify, Lisa is not a piece of arm candy. She manages her own candle and lifestyle. Estate Collection is a brand that works in technology and cryptography. She is self-made, stylish, and the most moreover, she respects Lionel's past, mostly because Lionel created the old Lisa enjoys jamming along to classroom music. But we're not judging. Several sources close to the pair says Lisa has helped Lionel rebuild his relationship with his children, especially after his chaos-past marriages. And Lionel I am incredibly grateful. He even stated in one during the interview, she stated, "She is my calm. She's mine. Peace. I've never laughed harder or felt more present than I am with her. But that doesn't imply everything is flawless." One question that supporters frequently ask is, why hasn't? Did Lionel Richie marry Lisa Parigi? It's a legitimate question, given the two have been. We've been together for more than 10 years. She wears rings, so what gives? Several persons believe that the reason Lionel hasn't proposed to her, but it is because at his, you do not propose to someone your age. The insurance agent does. All joking aside, in interviews, Lionel hinted that marriage is not a priority for either of us. Them. After 2 divorces, he is hesitant to legally bind the knot again. Lisa seems to be all right with it. Some term it, others refer to it as modern love. But whatever the case may be, it is working. It was going. However, after the interview, Lionel said something provocative, and the fans started to wonder, is it truly this simple? What Lionel said turned him scarlet flag. When asked about marriage, let's just say, have I learned how to avoid losing anything nice? The reason this has been so controversial is supporters wondered if he was discussing Lisa, or if he was talking about someone else. The solution is ambiguous, so it's a good thing. The couple has decided they want to move. Slowly, especially as Richie does not have an option since, he actually moves slowly. Lisa might be Lionel's girlfriend, however she is also stepped softly into co-parenting and the mentor role. She has been observed spending time with Nicole Richie and Sophia Richie and even their children. Thank you for this. Behind closed doors, Lisa's influence has helped to establish a more calm family environment, not simply between Richie and the children, but even between Lionel and his ex-wife, Diane Alexander. If you think this sounds excellent, then incorrect because not everything has smooth. Sophia Richie, who is Lionel's youngest daughter, got married. Elliot Grange in a luxurious 2023 during the event. People noticed something weird. Lisa was not significantly featured in wedding photographs. Was it only a coincidence, or was there tension? What's happening behind the scenes? Not only, when you see Lisa's public Richie's profile contains little information. Even there. So, what is the reason? The truth is that even after her long-term friendship with one of music's largest, Lisa has never mentioned Lionel's name for herself. She rarely posts about him. This is a red flag, but it might be why. Lionel dropped so hard. While Lionel appears, he is more in love than ever and lately made a confession that attracted everyone's attention. Off guard. A confession that moved people. I wonder if Lisa is the one who saved him, or only the one who arrived after the heartbreak. Who was it that got away? And why does Lionel continue to avoid talking about a specific event in his what happened in the past that nearly damaged his career? Continue to watch for the truth. Most fans presume Lionel's deepest heartbreak resulted from his divorce. What if we told? It's not true. The truth is more complex and painful. Long before his world was transformed into showbiz, Lionel fell in love in a manner that transformed him forever, and then lost. That love still hurts him. To this day, to understand this heartbreak, we have to go back in time. Lionel wasn't always a lone superstar. He was still the front man of the Commodores, a young man with big hopes, ambition, and a naive heart. During his early years, Lionel encountered a woman who was not famous. She wasn't on the Walking Red or the cover of magazine scarpets. She was simply someone who saw. He accepted himself before the rest of the world. Their relationship was intense, emotional, and spiritual. He's never her name was made public, but friends, collaborators from those days. Remember how much he changed during that time. They claim she is the one who motivated him to write songs like Still and Only to Be Near to You. She was the one. For this reason, he began writing tenderly, intimate lyrics. And when the relationship ended, he did not only lose as a partner, he lost a piece of himself. Lionel turned to music as a coping strategy. That sadness was fuel for some of his most iconic tunes. Really, Hello, Say You, Say Me. They weren't simply love-songs. These were love letters to someone who was no longer present. He never said. This is exactly why the relationship ended. Some, they claim she couldn't take the fame. Others, I guess Lionel, selected his career. Excessive commitment. Whatever the cause, Lionel suggested in rare interviews that this woman slid away. Throughout the years, Lionel has relationships, marriage, and flings. However, when asked about it in a 2016 interview, he did not pick his most personal song, one involving his wife. He selected Still. This was the song he penned shortly after. We're losing her. In the song, he claims to, I still cannot act without experiencing that. He has a lump in his throat. That song, he allowed, is about the one who escaped. It's difficult to overlook how profound that loss he was affected. Even now, fans believe that perhaps that woman was his true love. Soulmate, not Lisa Parigi. Some fans. I believe this strange woman may have been someone Lionel tried to reconnect with personally, but did not succeed. And others feel she may have died. This would explain his quiet. There are allegations that one of his most emotional performances in recent years, like his 2022 American Idol finale. The rendition of Hello was dedicated to Hair. When all is said and done, one question remains. If the woman was truly the love of his life, what does this mean for his people? What is life like now? For Lisa Parigi and his, he left no legacy for his children. Do you love them? Let's prepare. For the finale in this video, we shall reveal everything. The key reason why. We fans never get to understand him. Lionel felt this way for decades. Richie created a border between his own emotions and the public eye. He gave fans of music, performances, and polished interviews. However, this rarely happened. He ever allowed anyone to see what was happening behind his curtain. Perfect self. After years gatekeeping, he eventually gave in last. He reached the age of 74. He started. providing further information about his life. He revealed secrets that would startle you. In an unexpected interview while promoting a legacy documentary project, Lionel finally removed the mask. Perhaps it was a publicity stunt, but he still kept the details. But he provided enough bait fans will go crazy about him and make them happy. When asked if he ever truly discovered the one, Lionel hesitated and gave, and an almost bittersweet smile. There was. He mentioned someone from a long time ago. All this. That moment itself struck harder than his lyrics ever could. I didn't name her. He did not have to. The expression in his eyes revealed the story. It wasn't about his former spouses. It wasn't, even regarding Lisa Parigi, the lady he'd have been with them for more than a decade. This was about her, the lady who shaped him heart before the world had the opportunity to break it. Don't worry, that isn't all. Lionel continued by saying, You go through life believing you'll circle back to the people who were important, yet sometimes you blink, and they're gone. Or you're different, or they are. This man was breaking hearts with words alone. Worst of all, it wasn't even his music. He was just speaking up. Of heart, and his words resonated, the audience so perfectly that I wanted to cry for him. Lionel's greatest hits were motivated by passion, or, This woman has caused me pain. It became Lionel made it known that she was kind of person that made silence feel like a chat. The kind of woman you do not understand you are writing tunes about till it is too late. He didn't share information without a timetable or labeling. However, for the first time, he confirmed, as longtime listeners had suspected, behind the chart toppers there was One Love remained unharmed by time. However, he took cautious not to paint an image of tragedy. He smiled when he talked about her. She taught me. What does it mean to care without control? To experience something intensely without the necessity to have it. That type of love does not always endure life, but it survives time. Fans who watched the interview flooded social media. Some have commended the vulnerability, others felt saddened. This is for Lisa Parigi. Finally, if Lionel still thinks of this woman, where does this leave his current partner? But Lionel had a response for that as well. I've learned not to compare love. It's not fair to either them or me. Lisa is currently at peace. She is the tranquility I didn't realize I had needed. But that does not extinguish the fire. That came before her. They are both part. This is my tale. That statement was sufficient. It was the truth that the fans sought. Lionel Richie didn't live a single amazing love story. He lived multiple, some of which were public, some are buried, while others are utilized to their full potential. And, perhaps, that's what creates his music. Timeless since it wasn't written with a single emotion. It was built on layers. Loss, passion, regret, and growth, most importantly, love. A love that has evolved. I'm with him. When asked what would say to the woman from his past if Lionel took the opportunity to chat with her today. He took a big breath and just murmured, Thank you. You. Everything I am now, both good and bad. This stems from what I learned from you. I'm still on the first page of a narrative. Writing. He didn't say, I miss you. Come back to me. And he had no regrets. He treasured every moment he had with her. He did not lie. He told the truth in the most accurate and the purest kind of love. And for the supporters, this was the culmination of a decades-long mystery. Not a big reveal, but a quiet and a powerful conclusion. And, after the interview, Lionel left the viewers with one last thought. Sometimes the love of your life isn't who you spend your life with someone. And that's okay, as long as you don't pretend they didn't matter. These remarks were enough for the fans. Young and old alike from all over the globe, they began sharing their own stories of loss, love, of the ones that escaped, of those who shaped them, even did not stay. In that moment, Lionel Richie has again demonstrated that he's always done best, not just entertain, but connect honestly, through heartbreak, through hope.